back to yet another episode of The Gloving Paradigm, where I'm your host, Peter, aka LPD Dubuque. And as always, we're going to go into another awesome episode. And this time, I'm going to be doing the second trial burr review. So basically, like I did last time, we're going to be doing it again. Hopefully this time around, I actually see improvements from the last trial. Funny enough, the same two people submitted. Only the two people submitted. But, it's okay. It's totally fine. The way I look at it is, as long as there are people submitting, it is still a success to me. Hopefully it actually catches on more down the road when I try to do it again. But I am actually excited to see that there are people who are submitting to this and are actually trying this out and are understanding pretty clearly what I'm looking for now. So basically, what is it this time that I'm checking? Well, we're checking the trial balance, which, if you guys remember from my little trial video, which you'll see right up there, just right there. I was asking to see if people can demonstrate all four pillars of the archetypes of gloving, basically what you need to understand, and be able to equally demonstrate all four of them in your show at once. Now, I know that to a lot of people that's going to sound very, very subjective, but it's really not. If you guys want, you guys can go listen, because it's a very, 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 very old episode. You can go ahead and listen to the Gloving Archetypes 101 series, which is definitely, the very first one was the Pillars of Gloving, which, to summarize it, the four pillars of gloving, in my opinion, it's not everybody's opinion, but these are the ones I feel like these are the components that literally make up every other aspect of gloving. Okay, you got tech, flow, musicality, and showmanship. Those are the four pillars, in my opinion. And the reason why I say that is because tech is, short for technique. You got to have a proper technique to do anything that you want to do in gloving. You got to have a sense of flow to have your chain of concepts connect together in a constant stream. Make it, flow as it were. Of course, you got to you got to align it to music to make sense as well, because that's, if we're using music but not aligning to it at all, what are we doing? It's just there for there. And of course, showmanship, that little flair, that little extra thing that makes it pop. Whether it's you accentuating your movements, or you're actually putting a level of personality into it, or you're literally portraying a character in that sense, things of that nature, there is this level of showmanship that you see in like method acting. That's kind of the idea. Okay, so of course, like I said, I have two people who submitted. We're going to go ahead and we're going to watch their videos now. Alrighty, and here we are. Like I did last time, we're going to watch something that I recorded as a good way of demonstrating what I was looking for, and then we're going to get into our two submissions. So, when it comes to this show in particular, it is basically me just showing you how I'm able to demonstrate all 4 points at once. One of the things I will certainly say as well is, I know a lot of people might say I don't show any form of showmanship, which is to a degree true, but I feel like with what I do and how I execute a lot of the things I do, there is a level of showmanship of just presentation. I'm very much kind of like in the thought process of like David Copperfield, where it's just like, I show you the thing, and then I do the thing that I need to do and show you the magical illusions, and then well, bam, there it is again, and then I move over to the next part of the stage and do the next thing. That's kind of like what I understand from showmanship to a degree. There are other forms of showmanship out there, and we'll get into that, but I definitely wanted to stress that before we go into it. Of course, everybody knows that, or a lot of people who know my shows know that I have a very strong sense of musicality. I have really good techniques, and one of the things that I really strive to do is just make sure that all my concepts flow together. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and watch my show, and then we're going to go watch the other shows. showing different angles, which is very important. That drops so well. Alrighty, so basically that is a good little demonstration of what I was kind of like looking for when it came to this particular thing. Now, granted, I know a lot of people are like, well, that just kind of looks like you were just regular flowing doing your thing. I'm like, well, yes, that is true, because that is the style that I've cultivated. But I did think about what I wanted to represent. So, definitely had good balance of everything. That's pretty much what I was looking for. I would certainly say I know to a lot of people it would be kind of crazy. It's kind of hard to sit here and say that there wasn't any showmanship when there was, and it's because of how I really showcased a lot of my moves and how I put my own personal spin on it. And of course, with how I go about my style being, steeped in morphing, is just that constant stream, which is very, very indicative of what morphing is all about, is to have this constant stream of endless transitions. I just constantly just keep going to a technique or go into a concept and just churn right through it and, bring all these different concepts together into a mold. Okay, so that's kind of like the idea I was looking for. So, let's go ahead and move on to our next person who actually submitted to this one, which would be Vio. So, I'm not gonna wait you guys any longer. Without further ado, Vio, show me what you got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got.
Love this intro. Okay, I'm actually hearing other stuff.
So, Top thinks you give pretty good advice. And great tea.
Life happens wherever you are, whether you make it or not. Understanding others, the other elements, and the other nations will help you become whole.
Alright. Picked up the pace. Changed it when it changed to the song. Very nice. Went into some more tech-based concepts. Liking it. That was good. Really like that.
It is important to draw wisdom from many different places. If we take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and stale.
Very nice. That was really good sequencing there.
from the vine, falling so slow, like fragile tiny shells drifting in the foam. Little soldier boy,
Oh, this part of the
come
episode always makes me want to cry.
brave soldier boy comes marching home.
Okay, so first things first. Well, props on the intro. Really liked it. Very strong display of showmanship. You definitely went in with a theme. You definitely kind of took the theme to the whole next level by definitely immersing yourself into doing that. So very good. Really like that. Your techniques were very clean with what you do know. The stuff that I feel like you don't really know very well, you still executed it very well. You essentially kind of like followed through with it, if that makes any sense. Kind of like how with baseball or any sports activity, you have to kind of like follow through with your swing or follow through with your throw. You can't just like stop in the middle of the thing and expect that it's going to keep going. You gotta follow through with that whole arc. So in terms of your technique, you definitely can do that with especially the things that you do know, and the stuff you don't really know well. You were actually managed to pull that off enough to make it, right? When it comes to your musicality, is definitely there. I can definitely tell that you are listening. You can anticipate with cue changes that something's going to come up, and then you change with it. You change your speed a little bit to match the certain parts of the song, which was really great. I really liked seeing that. A lot of your concepts did flow together. There were some parts that feel a little conjointed, but I think that's because that some of the techniques and some of the concepts you're just not as well versed as you are in them. But with what you did throw, again, you executed very well. Okay, so 4 points. Did you bring all 4 aspects and 4 pillars of gloving and balance them all together equally in your show? I will certainly say that you did, but you just barely did. You just barely scraped by the skin of your teeth, basically, okay? So, going forward, I will certainly say definitely drill on your concepts as hard as you can, because my goodness, my guy, it's gonna be a lot of work, so you definitely want to make sure you get that. Especially when it comes to this next trial, which technically is already posted. The key aspect on that one is definitely you gotta show me how you introduce a concept, how you explore that concept, and how you resolve that concept before you move on. Because if you just jump into another concept without giving me a good sense of resolution, that's going to be not so good. So definitely work on that. But other than that, to my audience members, did Vio pretty much pass the challenge? Like I said, yes, congratulations, but you just did it barely by the skin of your teeth. So I will certainly say that I know this next one is probably going to be really hard for you to do, but definitely work on it, my guy.
All right, then I will.
All right, so here is our next one. Of course, this is Genghis Wrath. I'm actually really excited to see what this is going to be like, as should be a lot of fun. But yeah, without further ado, Genghis Wrath, show me what you got.
Show us what you got.
You didn't do the post-production work, but you know what? I'm going to forgive it.
Pushing in my decisions, burning out all the
and I'm not trying to relive. Get fucked up and I'm sick. These old habits will kill me quick. Quicker than I can blink.
That was awesome.
Quicker than I could think.
Love that.
Lift me up, don't want sing. Hold me up, I need a drink. What the fuck do I do but sabotage is all I know. Oh, I done done myself, my own back, and it's all. Kill me so. Curtains closed, so. For God's sake, what's the point?
Jesus. Okay, so first of all, I just have to say that show was freaking nutty. That was a really nutty show in my opinion. Alright, let's break this down. So, Genghis Wrath's showmanship, first things first. I want to just get that right out of the way. It was there. It was very reserved, but he did bring this level of a commanding presence that said, watch what I'm going to be doing. And when he was definitely holding that position in the very, very beginning, I thought it was just like, okay, are you just waiting for something to happen? But it wasn't. It was definitely letting what he was showing actually kind of be with the song, because the song was kind of like introducing with the vocals. You know what I mean? So it was definitely allowing at least me, as the audience, to kind of like understand what I'm listening to before I start seeing what he's going to project. Now, with what he did project, really liked a lot of his techniques. Honestly, when he did the whole finger thing, and then he had the whole cluster thing where one light was pointing backwards, but it still acted as a point. Brilliant. Absolutely loved it. Completely subverted my expectations of what I was going to see, and something that I was just not anticipating whatsoever. So, was not expecting that, and it was awesome to see that. Okay, musicality, top notch. It was there. If you don't think his musicality is there, then there's something wrong with you, because I can definitely see what beats he was hitting. I can definitely see that he kept on with the pacing, and he definitely allowed himself to really control the speed and what he wanted to do. In all honesty, with a lot of the threadings and things that he's doing in this show, I definitely want to see, in terms of like stress testing the vortexes, the wired gloves that everyone's talking about recently, I kind of want to say that I want to call them tethered glove sets, because the lights are tethered to a chip, so tethered. Definitely want to see with his threading concepts and things of that nature. I definitely want to see how he can stress test the vortex's wiring, because I don't know how strong the wirings are, and I'm not entirely sure yet. I haven't gotten my vortexes yet, so we'll see. All right, but flow, yes, he has flow. It came together very well. His technique is very strong. You definitely tell with his threading and his platforming that it is there. If you have not even seen a Genghis Wrath show, then you are missing out. But this guy pretty much has this one in the bag. Congratulations, Genghis Wrath. You completed this trial as well with flying colors. So definitely cannot wait to see what you bring up in the next trial. Yeah, had very strong showmanship. He definitely had that presence, and he definitely brought it in at the end. It's one of those things that I feel like a lot of people don't understand as well. It's not always just having a bunch of smiles or just doing little things. It's literally, you can literally, what you are doing and how you're presenting, just like how I was talking about with David Copperfield. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't smile. Well, he does smile, but he doesn't like show these emotive things to be part of his personality. He kind of just has that commanding presence. That's one of the things that I consider about showmanship. Is I don't want to say that it's as generic as possible, but is as generic as I can make it. Is if you think how David Copperfield does it, with just not saying anything and just does his presentations, that's showmanship. So I do say that there was a level of that kind of genericness in Genghis Wrath's show, but it does not make him generic at all. I'm just saying in terms of the concept of showmanship, that's how I can make it as generic as possible. So yeah, that pretty much covers everything. Yep, I know this one was a lot shorter than the last one, but I feel like people are starting to understand what it is that I'm looking for, how they understand what I am asking for, and I feel like the people who are submitting are actually doing it. Now, granted, I did say that VAIO Did it by the skin of his teeth. So I'm hoping that when he watches this, and I know the spoiler alert for the audience members who watch this on YouTube, he'll see this before it goes live. So yeah, definitely take my advice, Bio. I certainly hope to see it. And I would certainly say when it comes to these next few challenges, definitely step up your game. Don't hold back. Definitely take risks is one of the things that I will be looking for in these next few challenges. Is I want to see risks. I want to see you take risks. Even if it comes off a little bit sloppy, as long as you follow through with it and you keep going with your show like it didn't mess up, then you're going to be good in my book. So I want to see some risk taken from you guys. Now, with Genghis Wrath, I know he's going to just push it as far as he can. Dude. That's just how he is. So we'll get to see how that goes next month, guys, right? But other than that, that is all for my episode. I certainly hope you guys have been enjoying what I'm showing, and I'm hoping you guys are enjoying that I'm showcasing other Glovers. That is one of the things I've been wanting to do more and more and more, is just showcase more Glovers and just kind of show more gloving content in this fashion, because I like watching this stuff. This is stuff that I pretty much live for. So, you know, definitely let me know what you guys want to see, what you guys are thinking about. I definitely want to see it down in the comment section below. Please do not hesitate to do so. It's there for a reason. You can also follow me on my social media. You find that all in the description down below. Do not hesitate to do that. If you want to help me make better content and help me further on this content, please consider donating to my Ko-Fi. It really does help. I've actually had people donating to my Ko-Fi recently. So it's really nice to see that there are people who are actually trying to support me and trying to help me with this endeavor of sustaining this podcast, because this is, if you guys remember my friend Sebastian, this is the reason why I still do it to this day. You know, the comments that I get from people do help a lot. So please do not hesitate to engage with me in any way, shape, or form. But other than that, there's not much more I need to go into. So thank you so much for watching. But I am your host, Peter, aka LPD Dubuque, and I'll see you guys all next week.